My name is the Biz Markie, and I don't play no games. I'm here with my man Corey from Vintage Frame.
Okay.
My relationship with Eyewear, that was the first cool thing to have, like back in the day, like the L Brothers, Flash, and them, they used to have Spalding glasses first. Then Brooklyn and Queens used to have, and Manhattan used to have Gazelles, YSLs.
My relationship, I don't really wear a lot of glasses, but back in the day, you had to at least rock one pair of glasses. So in the hood, you saw the pimps, you saw the hustlers, they all had glasses, so you wanted to look fly like them, you know. So you would get a pair. So they had the Spalding glasses, they had the Gazelles, and they had the YSLs, you know what I'm saying, Yves Saint Laurent. So you would, you know, try to get you a pair by any means necessary, you know. And even they was rocking joints without the lenses, you know, but they had the fresh frames to it, you know what I mean? But you would go over to Delancey Street, Canal, you had the little eyeglass store right there on the corner, get your pair of Yves Saint Laurents, you know. That was later on in the game, but that's what the relationship for me with hip hop with glasses.
Well, my first cool stuff came from glasses like Jim Kelly from Enter the Dragon. Then all the cool dudes in the rap groups always had glasses. You know what I mean? Kumo D had glasses. Flash. You know, all the cool dudes, Mastodon, Def Committee, Crash Crew.
It was not easy to get a pair of Gazelles back in the day. Yves Saint Laurent's was a little bit easier because they were in all the major eyeglass stores. With the Gazelles, it was only a couple stores that really had them the way you want, you know, the black pair, the clear pair, the white pair, you know, you wanted to put it with your gear, so it was a little hard, and it was hard to come by.
You know, when I first saw Gazelles was on people that stuck people up. And then I knew that Gazelles was worth something because people used to snatch Gazelles. So you know it's something very crazy when people snatching glasses.
A lot of people used to get robbed for their glasses. All the time. Glasses that had no lenses, people still get robbed for them.
If you really wore glasses, like, you know, people that really wear glasses, they would up their game with glasses, you know what I mean? Because you don't just want to look like a geek with just regular glasses on. You gotta have that right glasses. Like, you know, Schoolboys was hot too.
You would always, like, I'm from Jersey, so you would see all the hip hoppers from New York. If you went to New York, you had the leather pants, the leather fronts, the leather sweaters, they had a pair of Gazelles on. So when I went home, you know, you got to try to get a pair of Gazelles by any means necessary. We used to get Gazelles and everybody would share them. You know, yo, let me rock them this week. Let me rock them today. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, it was my first experience of it was really the New York hip hoppers, the Harlem dudes, the Bronx dudes. They had the Gazelles, and then, you know, later on you would see DMC with them on, and everybody had them, you know. But that was my early thing with Gazelles.
First time I saw Gazelles was on, like, Grand West Theater on them, and Cold Crush. Them were the first times I saw Gazelles. But then, you know, it got really crazy, like in 82, 83, 84, when Run DMC started wearing some of them. But, you know, Harlem and the Bronx was wearing them before that in Brooklyn. But a lot of stick-up kids used to wear them.
The newer cats wanted to separate themselves from the golden era of hip-hop. The golden era of hip-hop, which was the late 80s, early 90s, wanted to more be connected with the foundation of hip-hop. So the guys that really started the fashions and everything, we connected more. So the glasses and everything were part of the hookup, you know. And as you got into the later 90s, glasses wasn't really a part. It wasn't a cool thing as being a part of the hookup when you went out. You know, later on, it's starting to come back now because you see guys with a fashion eye wearing stuff. You know what I'm saying? And you could tell a person that got a fashion eye. You know what I mean? Like, Kanye and all these guys, they wear glasses. So if you see the new cats, see them wear it, they want it. And that's the way fashion is. If you see somebody wearing something on that you like, you basically gravitate toward it, and you'll see more of it. But in the late 90s, you didn't see a lot of eyeglass wear. It wasn't a lot of eyewear. You know what I mean? People were more into sneakers and clothes and jeans and, more of whatever was happening at that time. We came from the 80s where Dapper Dan was out, the fashion. You had to have some glasses on with your Louis Vuitton and all of that's coming back now. So retro is really coming back now, but in a futuristic state. So even the young cats are wearing older stuff, but in a new way. They're rocking it different, and it's fresh for fashion.
If you had Gazelles, they know that you had money, because at that time, I think Gazelle's going for like $150, and at that time at 82, $150 was a lot. Sneakers didn't even cost $150. Put it this way, Gucci's with the canvas in the middle, right there, costed like $85, $90. And all the other ones cost $155. Have to go with the black, because it got the Gazelle at the bottom.
Yeah, I could put this lens in there. That ain't shit.
Nah, but the black is official. Either the black or the clear. And they used to put Kool-Aid on them to color it.
The lens.
So I'm official.
Gazelle! The front of the dormitory. Yo, could you tell me where is door 3? They showed me where it was for the moment. I didn't know I was in for such an event, so I came to a